until 7 years ago, so I still play music, but I don't play it in a full capacity because I have the radio show and full-time jobs and shit. But, you know...
Well, I've been in bands for years, just on and off, and, you know, it was funny. I'd feel a couple of them were just about to get somewhere, and that's when everyone would freak and just do something stupid.
Yeah, no, I mean... It's so weird how everybody has the same goal. I was in a band that was... they were called Crossfire. There's probably a million bands named Crossfire at this point, but
probably nowadays.
Great metal band. I became their singer. Was working with them for a while. They wound up getting a deal, so it was a little weird. I left the group. They got a new singer. They signed the deal, and then the drummer backed out. It was like, you put all this work in. This was the drummer's main goal, and he backed out of it, and they wanted me to become the singer again with a new drummer, and it just fell apart. But that's generally what happens. I mean, 90% of bands that I've dealt with, they come on the show or they're coming on to promote their new CD, and then the CD comes out, and 3 weeks later they break up. It's like, man, you didn't even give it time. This isn't something just because you put a CD out. You're not going to become an overnight rock star.
We're definitely aware of that. As I said, this will be our third full length, and we're trying to make music that we like. I mean, I don't know if that's ego-driven or whatnot, but I've been just listening to the new CD over and over and over again. Then every once in a while I kind of have to remind myself, nobody else has heard this. Oh.
Right.
I'm loving it. I mean, I'm seriously loving it because I think we've got elements of Queensryche, elements of Cybreed, Meshuggah, Fear Factory, just a lot of elements for a lot of different songs. We're really trying to push the music from some softer sides that I don't think people will be expecting from us to some just jagged sides that are abrasive at points. But I want it to be abrasive. It's industrial. Sometimes it has to be abrasive.
Right. And I mean, you definitely hit all those elements. I mean, I listened to the CD. I listened to tracks again today, and just going from some of the acoustic type of guitars, I don't know if they were exactly acoustic or he did them with an electric with no distortion.
He does actually have an acoustic. They are played on acoustic.
And just, you know, you're going back and forth between those sounds. I mean, it's definitely a great mix. So,
if you think that, if you're listening to Affirmation thinking that, this new one's going to be nuts. I mean, we really put a lot more random soft stuff and even much, much more abrasive tunes.
Yeah, I definitely dig it. I can't wait to hear it. So
I'm dying to release it. I only got like 3 more songs. I got to lay down the vocals for it. I can't wait to freaking finish them.
Hey, it's gonna be Halloween's gonna be here before you know it. You said that's when it's released, right? Halloween.
Yeah, I took a break because I caught this bad cold and I couldn't. I even lost my voice at one point. You're like, dang it, I can't record.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it happens. That's happened to me. I almost passed out in the studio on, I think, the 3rd CD with the band, and it actually, I was so out of my mind from whatever was going on in my body at the time. It was a lot of stress. We were working on $1 million record deal with the company, and I just hit the floor in the studio, and like 5 or 6 minutes later, I woke up, but I couldn't believe how well the track came out. I don't even remember recording it, so it was like, you know.
I've had a couple songs where I've actually messed up some of the words while recording, but I actually liked how it came out better, so I was like, screw it, we'll leave it in there.
Right. No, I hear you. I recorded an EP, and several times, you know, drinking a beer during the recording process, I hit the microphone stand with the beer bottle a couple of times, and we just left it in. I mean, you can actually, I know where it is because I know, but someone's probably like, what the hell kind of instrument was that? It was the beer bottle hitting the microphone.
Yeah, so I was recording one of the songs now for a new album, and the end has a little bit of spoken word. And I'm recording, my studio's my house, and I was listening to it, I'm like, holy crap, you can hear the birds chirping outside my window. And Nate's like, I was wondering what the hell that was, but he left it in there, and since we threw the effects on it, it sounds pretty cool. So you'll actually hear birds chirping in the background.
That's awesome. That's, you know, it makes a good story, you know, down the road. So it's good to leave that ambient type of thing going on. So,
well, we try. I mean, when I do the vocals, I really try and do them in one shot. So I'll usually write and record the song within 20 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, that's how I like to work. I mean, if I'm going to a studio and there's an engineer, I don't mind if he says, all right, let's go back and do that part. I'll punch it in. But to me, it always sounded like I knew he punched that in. And it drove me nuts. I like to sing it. I like to find the best one that I sang from start to finish and try to use that track.
But it's usually the first time. It's usually the first one.
It is.
Because you try and mimic that. And I tried it with a couple of them. Like, that didn't come out perfect. And I tried again, like, screw it, I'm going with the original one. Even though it has a different sound, there's just something about it that's much more raw, has much more feeling, and I just got to go with it.
Right. And then, there's times you overdub, and it's just like, you know what, I just can't recreate it. And that's one good part about the digital age now is you don't have to recreate it. Just copy, paste, throw a little bit different effect on it. So it's a little bit easier.
Try not to do that too much.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but sometimes you got to do it. But I like to layer things. I like everything to be the natural thing. It used to drive me nuts when he would want to punch it in and just get that one thing I phrased wrong. I'm like, I'm going to phrase it like that every single time so we can do take after take, and my brain is programmed to say it like that when I sing. I can't help it.
I had a song like that, and at one point I literally just scrapped everything and started over from scratch, and it just became a completely different song because I couldn't get it out of my head.
Right. Yep. And it's always a trip when when the drummer's in that situation. It's so annoying. Listening to this guy record that drum part 42 times, I want to strangle the shit out of him. You played this song 3,000 times. Why can't you play it in the studio when we're paying for you to play it? But I love it. But yeah, man, I don't want to keep you on too long. We've been, we hit about 30 minutes here, so I do appreciate you calling in. Where can we find you guys and get more information about Isolated Antagonist? And do you guys have a side project or?
Oh, Nate actually has a side project called Autonomous, and I'm working on a side project right now with a couple people. We haven't really announced it yet, but again, that'll be a nice little surprise once it comes through. More industrial stuff.
Cool, nice. That's what I love. I love that shit. So keep sending it in.
A little bit of KMFDM Ministry style mix to it so far is the sound I'm getting.
Nice.
So I'm loving it. I love industrial. But we're Isolated Antagonists at .bandcamp.com. That's where you can get the physical disc. But if you look up Isolated Antagonists, we're on Amazon, iTunes, Groove, Spotify, pretty much everything. The only thing I can't seem to get us on is freaking Pandora, jerks.
Yeah, no, I know
it's
some
like
of those
mystery
things.
To get on that.
some of these services, it's like even with the radio show, it's like it's hit or miss because iHeartRadio doesn't want you to play music. It's like, well, what the hell do you want me to do? It's not. I am on iHeartRadio. I am on them. Nice. I mean, it's good that there's all of these avenues for all these bands to take now, but how do you find, breaking through all that as far? I know I was going to cut you short, but I was thinking.
You can keep going. I'm here. Just whatever, dude.
So, I mean, how do you find it, to promote yourselves and break through with it being so flooded, as an industry? I mean, everybody can be a musician now and have a web page and have a Facebook and.
It's flooded, and I mean, this is the interesting part about social media. When I try and advertise, I try not to be a douchebag.
Right. I mean that helps because you don't want to be an annoying jerk.
You've seen those people, dude. You hear my song. Like, all right, I'm trying not to be that guy. So I focus on my friends that really are into that style of music. I'm not going to hit every single person like, hey, buy my album.
Right.
But I will. If I'm at work, I'm like, hey, turn on Spotify, hit play and repeat. Be camper.
I hear you.
I'll get a penny per four plays.
That's funny. A lot of bands, I'm like, why do they do that? They like you on Twitter or follow you, whatever the hell you call it. And then, out of a courtesy, you follow back, and then right away they message you, oh, thanks for following me. Here's my music. And let me investigate it because odds are I'm less likely to click on it.
I chat with a lot of people on a lot of the social boards. Like Metal University has 70,000 people, and I end up chatting with people, and I guess it's because I'm a musician. I will give them a shot, and well, I'm not poor, so I don't mind throwing cash at new musicians who I actually enjoy this stuff. Right. So I'll throw it down for them. And
without a doubt.
I hope that people pay you the favor back and just check out your stuff, and if they think they like it, throw some money.
Yeah, so, no, I mean, it's the best way to support it. I mean, is
I go out and I'll try and buy CDs that when bands are playing. But yeah, when I find people online, if I dig their stuff, I'll buy it, and I'll throw a couple ads just on our Facebook page, and I've actually gotten people buying other people's music just because I advertise for them, and I wasn't doing it for any money or anything. Honestly, right now, probably should have mentioned this earlier. We were supposed to do the Sparta Project show next week, but just scheduling bottoms out. But we're still actually donating 50% of all of our sales to the Sparta Project, which is to help veterans and first responders with PTSD. So if they check us out on ISOLATEDANTAGONIST.bandcamp.com, you'll see everything's listed there, and whatever they buy off there is 50%. Go straight to the project.
That's awesome. That's a good thing. I mean, they definitely need to do research and help these guys out that come back. I mean, that's a rough thing. There was a guy here who had post-traumatic stress disorder. He worked for the company I work for, and he spent a lot of time, I guess, over in Iraq and stuff, and came back and thought there was someone dealing drugs in front of his house, and he wound up shooting a guy. I mean, he's in jail for it. I mean, he was, it wasn't something that he intentionally, he wasn't in his right frame of mind. So, I mean,
I suffer from it. It sucks. And sadly, I actually do have people that deal drugs in front of my house.
Yeah,
one video.
Yeah,
I'm trying to move. It's gotten so bad up here. There's so much heroin all over the place up here, and I'm kicking junkies off my porch with needles still in their veins. I'm like, all right, you got to get out. And I had to set up cameras and everything. Christ, I had somebody get shot across the street from the house.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea you look into moving.
I'm building a house. I'm in the middle of it, but it's taking so much longer than I thought it would.
Yeah. Here, you know what? Sometimes taking longer, you're better off, man. The way they pump out some of these houses down here, they fall apart in a couple of years. But yeah, man, I'll let you go, man. I do appreciate you calling in. When you guys get closer to releasing the album, feel free to hit me up and call in real quick. Even if I have a guest, I'll get you on. We'll get you promoted.
All right, cool. Thanks. Yeah, as I said, it's 31st. It's going to be called Oblivion, and we're just so close to finishing it up, and we're dying to release it because we think you want to make sure that your album is a step up than the one before. We're definitely just throwing our heart and souls into this and hearing a lot more variety in the songs to hopefully give people a really good sound. And I think my favorite complaint I got off of Affirmation of Entropy, I heard twice, was the album was too long.
I didn't think it was too long. It's just more. It's just more there to listen to.
That's all. Like, I'm sorry, I gave you too much music.
You should charge them double. Say, all right, give me $10 and 5 tracks back.
I just thought that was funny. I'm like, I'm sorry. I hate getting CDs that are like, cool, I got a CD. It's like, it's only 30 minutes of music. This sucks.
Hey,
so
I like driving to work and I get the whole album in. I mean, the Black Sabbath album 13. Each song is like 9 minutes, so I get 3 songs by the time I get to work in a half hour, 40 minutes. So I mean, it's great. I don't want to be sitting there changing tracks, while I'm driving and albums and stuff. So
once you get in that mood, you just want to keep going, and that's why I was just kind of chuckling. Like, I just never remember hearing that complaint about any albums. Really,
man. Like,
somebody gave you too much art for too cheap of a price.
I want as much, man. If you put 18 tracks on there, I'm listening to them all. So
I figure they give you a CD. I'm going to fill it with as much music that's enjoyable and not have it be filler. I just want. I mean, I like to think I don't make filler music, but I'll leave that to judge everybody else. but I want to put a tune on there that means something. If it doesn't mean something, it's not going to go on there. That's the way I look at it.
Right, because I mean, either way, you're paying to produce a CD that